Today, I want to show you how to make a milky white, creamy broth without the need for milk or cream. This technique is mostly associated with tonkotsu ramen, which uses pork, but you can apply it to most meat and fish. So what makes tonkotsu milky white? Primarily the pork fat. And just to demonstrate, this is the color of rendered out pork fat. And our objective of exercise becomes very simple. We want to mix this thoroughly with water. Now, for anyone who's ever studied physics in school, we know fat and water don't like each other. And to make the milky white broth, all we need to do is to turn this into this. So we know agitation works, but besides the mess and the effort, there's another problem with just agitation. As you can see, even now, the oil is slowly coming back to the top and the water is slowly going down. What we need to achieve after the agitation is to keep them together. And to do that, we rely on the collagen of the broth. So let's do it. For the purpose of demonstration, here we have some pork belly, which by definition has a ton of pork fat. So all we need to do first is to add them to a cold pan. And we add just enough water to cover it. Bring this to a boil. This stage is mainly to remove the so-called impurities, which is mostly the myoglobin, from the belly, to prevent them from clouding the broth and making it look dark. If texture is your only consideration, which meaning you want a thick broth, you can even skip this step. Once this has come to a boil, we simply let it simmer for about 3 minutes for the so-called impurities to come out. Now, after about 3 minutes, stove off, and we remove the liquid completely and rinse our pot and the pork under cold running water. Now, we add some clean water back to our pot, and we bring this to a rapid boil. Now, once this is boiling rapidly, we add the clean pork belly back. So why do we need this to be boiling? Well, we know agitation works, and the rapid boiling, it's what's going to give us the agitation needed to emulsify the pork fat with our boiling liquid. So we know this will achieve what we did with the cocktail shaker. To keep the emulsification, we need two things to help us. One is the collagen and connective tissue of the pork belly, both of which would break down through heat into gelatin. And gelatin acts as a wonderful stabilizer for the fat and water emulsion. Number two, we need help from the protein, the second member of our stabilizing team. And that's why the choice of meat is important. You want something with a good fat content, but also good connective tissue and collagen. A typical braising joint, for example, oxtail, would do extremely well. With pork belly or most meat, the rapid boiling needs to last for at least 20 minutes. Ideally up to 30. So normally you would do it with the lid on to maximize the temperature inside the pot. But today, for the purpose of demonstration, we take this journey together. I'll leave the camera on for the next 20 minutes for you to witness how this turns into a milky white soup. I'll see you then. And after 30 minutes, this is what we have. It took slightly longer because we didn't have the lid on, and I had to top it up with water just because of the evaporation. But I want to remove the pork for you to just see the net effect of the rapid boiling, the emulsification of the fat and the water. This is the color you can expect. And of course, the larger the batch, the more fat, more collagen, more protein. Now, at home, after this stage, for meat, you want to reduce it to low heat and let it simmer for another 2 hours so that there'll be more protein and more collagen released into the broth, further stabilizing the emulsion and thickening the broth. Use it to make noodles, use it in a sauce, or just enjoy it as a soup.